I love hearing birds sing. Something about hearing that in the morning, hearing the birds singing and chirping, it just puts me in the best mood. It really does. And I think it all started when I lived in Utah, and in the winter you wouldn't hear the birds, like you couldn't hear them at all because they go south for the summer, right? Or for the winter, sorry. And then when I would hear birds again, that meant it was warming up and that, that winter was over finally. And I didn't realize this until one time I was in Hawaii, but it was during the winter time. And I remember going to wake up and we had our windows open and I could hear the birds. And I went, it's going to be warm. Well, of course it's going to be warm. I was in Hawaii. That's so silly. But I just love it. Now that I'm in the South and I can hear the birds every morning, when I wake up and I can hear them, it's like they're saying good morning to me. Good morning, Patty. And I know it's weird, right? I must be getting old because I'm like, I wonder what kind of birds those are. And I'm looking at birds and trying to hear bird sounds. And Jane just is like, are you going to turn into a bird watcher? And I'm like, no, maybe, because I love hearing them. But I came across in the scriptures talking about in Matthew, when it's Christ talking in Matthew 23, and it's not really a bird, but it's a hen. And when you think about what Christ is saying here, when he says in verse 37, when he says, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. And you look at different examples Christ used to show his love, a shepherd, all these different examples. And here he's using the example of a mother hen. That he's using an example of a mom and her gathering her little children. And I was thinking about that because a lot of times, women feel like there isn't very much about them in the scriptures. But here, he's using an example that women can relate to, dare I say, more than men. Because as a mother, you are so protective and you understand wanting to gather your children, to have them in close to you, to make sure they're okay, that your kids cannot do anything to where you don't love them and want them to be protected. And that is the example that Christ is using here. He's using the example of a mother's love, and a mother's will always, always, always be there for her kids, no matter what. And he uses different examples to reach different audiences to help them understand. But it dawned on me here that this is an example of a mom, an example I can relate to, an example I understand. I mean, I know Christ loves all of us so much. And I know he loves us perfectly. And so when I think about how much I love my kids, it's easy for me to understand how much Christ loves me. Now, if I could just remember that my kids, there's nothing my kids can do that could take away that love. And I think all moms would agree, to that. And so I'm grateful for the different examples that are used throughout the scriptures, that he is always there. He's always there no matter what. And kind of like the birds, sometimes maybe I don't hear them because if I have music on or a TV on or, a podcast playing or something, or, or I'm distracted or I'm not paying attention, I don't hear them. But that doesn't mean they aren't there. That's the same with Christ. Sometimes we need to turn everything off and listen. And hear what he wants just you to know. So, when you hear a bird, I know it's a long stretch, but think of a hen and think of a mother's love and of Christ's love for everyone. Everyone. Thanks.